We are live, PJNET, Cruise Crew. That would be us. And hey, great to have so many folks here tonight. Glad to see how great the numbers are performing. There is so much excitement in the air as the Iowa caucus is underway. And we are fortunate to be joined, well, her name's Bonnie, but that's the only thing. Bonnie has many AKAs. So which is your favorite, Bonnie?
Well, my main one is Bonnie Ball 40.
Okay, that's the good one. And you're calling from a remote location in the Rocky Mountains somewhere, if I recall.
Right, we're about an hour south of Glacier Park in Montana.
An underground, a bunker inside the...
Corrected me, we're an hour east. No bunker, just a little town.
Okay. Great. Well, Bonnie, you have become quite the expert on getting out the most tweets, and we actually, now listen, we're going to talk about your cadence and how you do it, but folks, we don't want anybody to think that you need to do it the way Bonnie does it or the way I do it. I do it differently than Bonnie. Find your own groove. Okay, find your own groove. However, Bonnie is one of the more aggressive tweeters on the team. I'm being very, 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 very politically correct when I say that. Okay, yeah. But here's what we don't want. Okay, we want you to do what you're comfortable with, but we don't want you to get in trouble.
Right.
You're not helping the team when you've been suspended. Okay.
Right.
So how do we find that balance? Well, Bonnie if there's anybody that can give us some insights into this, Bonnie can. So Bonnie, step number one, you've got multiple accounts. So that helps right away. If you've got 4 accounts, you can get out 4 times as many tweets, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. I talked to my husband into getting an account, and both of my teenage boys, one of the teenage boys works his own account. The other one works at some, so I work the rest of it and keep it maxed out. But I haven't gotten any of those guys in trouble yet. So. Okay,
and now that we have the tweet scheduler, that's making it not only more convenient but more effective, because now the tweet scheduler can spread them out for you. You just set it up and launch it. And so, what kind of timing do you typically use there?
I was experimenting with different times to keep them all staggered, but that was it. I can only tweet. I can only put the scheduler out once every 24 hours. So I was talking to Judy Stein not too long ago in another chat room, and she said, I keep them going 24/7. I'm like, how do you do that? I want to know how. So she told me how, and to keep them at 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Well, by the time they get over those 5 minutes, that's about 8 hours for 100 tweets.
100 tweets. Mm-hmm.
And so then you can reschedule them for another 8 hours.
Right.
And if it falls right, you can do it a third time. I just haven't gotten it to do the third time yet.
And actually, when you schedule the tweets, it'll show you, here's the tweets that are scheduled to go out. Okay.
Right.
Once you hit submit, that's where it takes you.
Right.
And if you try to schedule them again, and the ones you've already scheduled have not yet been completed, it's simply going to say, well, it's got the schedule. Here's the last one. And the times listed are Eastern time. I had that question earlier today, and I was remiss in making note of that on the page. But there is a little secret. If you go in and say there's only 4 or 5 tweets left, but you're there, and, there's a box next to each tweet that is yet to be sent out. You can check that box, go down to the bottom, there's a delete button. Oh,
that's great.
Okay, so, when you're sending out 100 tweets, if you've already done 95 of them, what the heck?
Yeah.
Delete the other 5, go ahead and set your schedule up. You can do it that way.
And then I can go to bed.
And then you can go to bed. You don't have to sit there and wait. So I thought I'd share that with you. I worked very hard on that feature, and I implore everybody, but the tweets are randomized, by the way. When you check, let's assume you would check all 100 of the tweets in the scheduler. It doesn't send them out in that order. It will randomize the order and then schedule them. And this makes the Cruise Crew timeline look really good because it's just not the same tweets over and over and over and over and over. It's all scrambled up. It's beautiful. All right, so
that's great.
now, so you've got your various accounts, and you get the tweet scheduler to schedule them. What's your cadence on retweeting?
I don't retweet except for in the rallies. I do the what do you call the encore tweets in between, and I've got them all out with all 4 accounts today. I don't normally get them all done with all 4 accounts, and I'm just getting ready now to do the retweets. Because that's when I usually tend to get in trouble, so I want all the other ones out first.
Right.
And I'm trying for huge numbers tonight because I want to see it crack at least 50,000. I think we can do it. Thrilled.
I think it's possible. It is. And now, when you do a retweet, how do you do it? You're on page 1 of the featured tweets. What do you do? Walk us through it.
I go to page 1, and then I normally do the top 3. Now, Barbara was saying kind of spread it around, so sometimes if I feel like I have time and I'm not just trying to fly through it, I'll spread it around to try to find the retweets that don't have any shares or any shares, that haven't been retweeted any.
Right.
So I'll try to pick those out and retweet those sometimes too, and not just hit the top 3 because a lot of times they have the most retweets. So, but I will do the top 3. Now, I experimented with this, and if you do 4 or 5, it does get them out there faster. But sometimes, even in the fastness at the nighttime, it's one after another. There's like 2 or 3 in a row.
Right.
But if you just do 3, they get spread out better, and then you don't get flagged for retweeting too fast.
Yeah, what people don't understand is a retweet is a tweet.
Right.
It is a tweet. And you say, well, no, it's not. Oh, yes, it is. Okay, it counts. What I do is I go to the tweet I want to retweet, and then I will find, and I do try to even it up. If somebody's got a lower retweet count, I try to help them out. But more importantly, I kind of keep track of, okay, I've retweeted that person. Then I move on to the next tweet and hit the RT button. Then I retweet someone else. So I try to spread out who I'm retweeting. Okay, and I only retweet one time. Okay, in other words, I don't go down and retweet 3 people in a row because that's essentially on your timeline the same tweet 3 times.
Right.
So now I realize it's faster, but it would, and I know retweeting takes a little bit more effort, and we all. But it is the retweeting that builds the numbers. It is also what builds the team.
Right.
Okay. Some people say, well, I'll go in and just tweet again. Well, no, don't do that. Build up the other people. And if you do the original tweet more than once, it's hard for people like me to say, have I already retweeted her?
Yeah.
Because they're in there more than once. And it's like, please don't do that to me. You messed me up. And I'm a high-tech redneck. This is how I keep up with it.
No high-tech about me. I just want lots of numbers.
Well, listen, there are a lot of different ways to do this. Again, I wanted Bonnie to share. She's one of our more aggressive tweeters. I'm one of our least aggressive. Okay? I send out the featured tweets, and I do one set of retweets. That's 50. So I do 150 a day. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, but you're doing all the work. So,
well, to be honest, I have some other things I'm doing right now. And I do try to focus. If there's somebody new in the room and they send out a tweet, it's their first time, I want to get on that. I want to reward them and let them know, hey, we want to affirm and assimilate and bring them into the team and let them know that when you come here, you're not tweeting into thin air. You've got a team backing you up, and that's very important because teamwork, folks, is how we're going to win. Okay, individuals trying to tweet and trying to ram it down people's throat, even if they rack up the numbers, people are ignoring them. You're not going to get anywhere that way. Let's retweet each other. Let's build each other up. Make sure you're following everybody. Switching gears, as we need to kind of get back to our program. Bonnie, you've been with us for some time. I don't remember how long. I don't remember when you started. But what in the world brought you into this crew?
When you guys came into, Tony Urso had you and Terry come into cruise control and teach us how to Twitter. I had a Twitter account. I've had one since 2009, but I never used it, and it scared me to death. I thought, I don't know what to do with this, so I'm just going to ignore it. Mm-hmm. But when you guys taught us how to build our numbers for one thing and why, and how to do it correctly and get the right ratio, it started making sense. And the fact that I could come into PJNET and tweet already set up tweets that would go far enough and that would say the right thing and be the right thing, then I could start learning how to do it, and it took away the fear. So I really that's the first time I ever started tweeting was after that.
Wow.
And it was so much fun.
Well, that's a great testimony, and you hit on something. You would be hard pressed to come up with 100 good tweets. You might think they're good. I
couldn't come up with one.
You might think they're good, but I got news for you. Sunbelt Girl, our tweet curator, goes out and finds, and after a while we kind of know what to look for. Okay, you get a knack for it. It's a craft, and sometimes they'll surprise you. Okay, but we also every tweet in our rallies gets analyzed. If you'll look in the where the tweet button is, and then there's some text in blue to the right, okay, there's a little graph icon over there. If you press that graph icon, you will find out exactly how well that tweet is doing in comparison through time, and also you can compare them with each other. So Barbara gets all this and puts it on a spreadsheet. So then we start finding what tweets didn't do so well, because we got new tweets to go in. We want to keep it fresh. Well, which ones do we want to take out? Well, the ones that didn't do very well, that's the ones. Doesn't that make sense? But they get graded each time. So you hit on a good point. You would be hard-pressed to find content as good as we have here, 100 of them. It reminds me of those late-night infomercials you see. It would cost you thousands of dollars to collect all this music on your own, where we've got it for $19.95, 5 consecutive payments of $19.95. But if you call within the next 10 minutes, we'll waive the last 2 payments and we'll give you free shipping. Plus, we'll throw in this new isotoner, massage thing, and we'll pay off the national debt. And just call now.
Oh man,
Bonnie, it is. I really, really thank you for sharing your testimony. Not only for your courage in calling in, but also that's what we're trying to do. You are exactly the case study in what PJNet is about. We are about building a team and equipping that team. All of this technology, all of these features, all of these buttons, all of these web pages, however good or great they may be, and I know they're great because I wrote them, are useless without you. Without you. You make it happen. I enable. Okay, my job is to make it easier and more effective for you. And it's a great partnership. It's more than a team, it's a family. Bonnie, thank you so much for sharing with us tonight.